What was it like to watch that game yesterday?
Oh my gosh, man, it was terrible. I mean, even matter of fact, when I turned it on, it was 7-0. I'm like, okay, what happened? And then I saw the highlight. I'm like, okay, so we down 7-0, and the game had just started. So it was just bad from the beginning.
And then they march down the field, and they're about to score a touchdown, and the ball hits off, I don't know if it's Tavon's helmet or somebody's, Kenny Britt's helmet, and goes up in the air. It's like, even when they have a good drive, now all of a sudden they're down 14-0 before you can blink.
I know. I mean, before you could even blink. I mean, the only thing about it is I've been saying this from day one is our offense looked like a high school offense. I mean, and I'm not trying to put the blame on Rob Boris. I just think that job was a little bit too much for him, and it just was not good. I mean, it's frustrating to watch. It's frustrating for me to watch the players, Todd Gurley. And I just feel bad for him because I know I've been there. I've been one of those guys where everything is going wrong.
Yeah. I mean, that's and every way in which Jeff, should he have called you? I like the fact that he called you. At least he didn't call you out publicly. Like, I like that. But like everything he did in the media, to where he may have said, he respected the Patriots, and he mentioned a couple players, one of which may not be on the Patriots anymore, and then some of the other things, he throwing his GM under the bus. Like, it felt like everything that possibly could have gone wrong has gone wrong in the past 2 weeks. You live it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, well, it has. I mean, he called me, and I told him, I said, man, thanks for having the balls to call me. I said, I've been hearing the grumbling from over at the Rams organization. No one's called me, but I've been hearing about it. So he had the balls to call me. But, he called me, first of all, you're not going to talk to me like I'm a kid, like I'm one of the players. And I let him know that, and if you're going to call me, you're going to talk to me like a man. And so, the conversation went how it went, and it ended, amicably. There wasn't no screaming and yelling and that kind of stuff. But it was just, look, Jeff Fisher, and I've been saying this from day one, and I didn't want to say fire him, but I just say I don't think he's the right guy for this football team. And it shows that I was right. And I'm not trying to be right or wrong, but he just wasn't the guy to get this team motivated and coach this football team. I think that we could have at least 4 more wins if the coaching would have been up to par.
All right, so what are you looking for? As a guy who knows it, lived it, now covers it, and you know this team, what's the kind of guy that they need to get them going? You
need a coach that really knows, like, can relate to today's player, and they can relate to him. Someone who can coach our young quarterback. I said this before. Jeff George was with me in Indianapolis, and we didn't have a great offensive coordinator. We didn't have a quarterback coach for him. And I think it ruined Jeff. And Jeff was a great teammate and a great guy. And I think if they don't get the same thing here, with Jared Goff, the same thing can happen. I mean, right now in this league, this is a quarterback league, and it's all about throwing the football. And you have to have someone that can coach this young quarterback and get our team to where it needs to be, and that's winning. I mean, it's all about winning. I've heard several times here from people upper management say, "Well, it's not about the wins and loss record." Well, what is it about? It's all about winning and losing. That's what it always comes down to.
All right, so you have been a critic not just of how they've nurtured Goff and who's nurturing Goff, but of the selection of Goff itself. You've seen him now a couple of games. What are your impressions of if he has what it takes to ultimately be a guy who can lead this franchise?
It's unfair to try to make an assumption on Jared Goff, because I'm not a quarterback. I really can't, say for sure if Jared Goff's the guy or not the guy. He has to have a fair shot. And really, in this offense and the offensive line, it's not fair to him. I mean, the things that he's working with, I think the coaching that he has, it's not fair to Jared Goff. And I think that if he has the proper coaching and then the weapons, then if it's not working out, then you can say, okay, this is not the guy. But right now, I can't say. It's not fair for me to say that about him.
All right, Christmas Eve's the next home game. I assume you're going now?
It's Christmas Eve. I'm going to probably try to go if I can. I'll probably go. I got young kids, but I'll probably go to the game.
There are going to be people like, dude, you're the one who got him fired. Like, and then look, to some people, that's a good thing because somebody had to be the bad guy. And my point when you came out and said what you said, this is initially was like, you guys, I grew up in Orange County. I grew up watching you. Like, one of the things that some people didn't like about you as a player was you always said what was on your mind. But do you feel like you're going to carry that badge of, hey, you're ultimately the guy that got Jeff Fisher fired?
No, I don't say. I think Jeff Fisher got Jeff Fisher fired. I mean, the play yesterday really just sealed his fate. I mean, and I think the team gave up on him. I really believe that. You just kind of lost the team. When you lose the football team, it's over. I
Yep.
mean, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, if your team not gonna play for you, they're tired of hearing the same old speech, the same old thing, the same old excuses. And after a while, the players like, man, look, I just don't want to get hurt. I just want to play, get the season over. And that's the bad part, because I've been on those kind of teams, and it's frustrating. And Todd said it yesterday, man, have some pride. Go out and play hard no matter what. And that's what they didn't do yesterday. Some guys just went through the motions.
You followed Jim Harbaugh on Twitter today. I'm not trying to draw any conclusions, but you mentioned guys that can relate to young guys, can motivate guys. If they said, hey, Eric, what do you think? Like, Harbaugh is he's a different sort of personality, but he's from your era. Is Harbaugh the kind of guy that could turn this thing around?
Well, I'm always big on show me your track record, and Harbaugh has a track record. I mean, he turned Toby Gerhardt into a Heisman Trophy candidate. Alex Smith into a one time that was a bust, was a top quarterback. So it shows that he can do. He turned Stanford around. They were 1-11. He turned them around. And
Michigan was terrible before he got there.
Michigan was terrible before he got there. The Niners had many down years before he got there. He turned that franchise around. So he's a proven product. He just shows something that's proven. It's a proven product. So. I mean, if they could get a guy like Harbaugh, I mean, I think that it'd be a plus for the organization. Will that happen? I mean, that's for Stan Kroenke to make that call. To write those big checks. He has to pay off Jeff Fisher. Might have to buy Harbaugh out of his contract at Michigan. So who knows?